My name is Nathan Coombs. I'm a front-end coordinator here at the Wedge Co-op. I was on our organizing committee, our negotiating committee, and I'm also now a union steward here.
I'm Cindra, and I work at the Wedge Co-op in the Health and Body Care Department. Been here for about 20 years, and I was on the organizing committee with our union.
I'm Rebecca Pollock. I work as assistant buyer in the grocery department at the Wedge, and I am a union steward.
I think what motivated me to get involved in the organizing drive was seeing the passion that my coworkers put into it. A couple folks had been working on this for many months actually before I got involved, and it ended up being very important for me as a front-end coordinator, as a front-end employee, to get other people in my department motivated and on board.
The most rewarding part of being a member of the union organizing committee was how many of my coworkers I met and got to know better through the effort. It really forced me to step outside of my usual circles and interact with people in other departments, people I hadn't talked to much before, and hear about what their job was like.
I got involved in my organizing committee here with the union because I wanted a voice from the point of view of the workers that I felt that wasn't present. And we had in the past history of our co-op some less than optimal management styles. And so I wanted a protection legally with that, and to make sure that our workers had a voice in their own fate and their own pay raises and their own scheduling when they needed to.
At the Wedge, there were some discrepancies in pay, attendance, and policies that we felt we would like, as workers, more of a voice in determining.
I think the improvements we saw in our first contract, a number of big improvements with the pay scale. There were a lot of us got raises. Some folks who hadn't gotten a raise in years because they had capped out at a pay level got raises, and there was also some just more clarity and consistency with scheduling when there had been some discrepancies between different departments on scheduling.
The biggest improvements that we saw in our first contract would have to be our pay scale, which is much more fair. It's based on seniority, it's predictable, and a majority of the people in the building saw raises, some significant raises. The pay cap was removed, and employees who had not seen raises in years got raises.
In my first contract, I personally saw a big pay raise because since I've been here so long at the co-op, I was capped on my wage, and I didn't have a wage increase in 3 years. So right away, I had a $2 an hour raise, and that meant a lot.
Yeah, one of the best things I think about the contract is we were able to secure our already good benefits, and we had them. But then we had them in writing. Whereas in an employee handbook, you know, everything has kind of an asterisk next to it where it can be changed at any time based on management discretion. So that was very important to me.
We were able to guarantee consistent scheduling for departments in which that is possible. For departments in which consistent scheduling is not possible, the scheduling now has to be fair and posted with a reasonable advance of time so that people can predict their schedules.
I think if anything, going union here has strengthened the communication between employees and management, because basically it allows for, you know, especially because we have union representation now who can come in and kind of mediate certain situations.
We're a pretty friendly store, and we're very friendly with each other, so that hasn't changed. I can still go in anytime to any of my managers or anybody here, and I feel comfortable doing that still.
On a day-to-day basis, communication between staff and management has not changed. It's been very good and open always. I would add that that's primarily because we have good managers, and that could change at any time. And should we get managers that are less friendly to workers, I'm glad that the union is here to help me mitigate that.
I think, you know, I think a number of us feel more respected by management here and more, that our opinion is more valued, that we have a place at the table.
I would definitely consider the Wedge a respectful workplace. It always has been a respectful workplace as long as I've worked here, but I know that it's safer to have the union than to trust that there will always be respectful individuals in charge. I feel that the company respects our union. They've negotiated with us constructively, and they accommodate union activity whenever requested, whenever they can.
Personal gains for me was I did get a pretty sizable raise through the pay scale that we negotiated for. It was about a 21% raise over what I was making, and that was just instantaneously. And that probably would have taken me at least 5 years of what the raise system was before here to hit that number. So that was huge. I mean, that has allowed me to give more money to charity. It's allowed me to spend money a little more comfortably, save money.
Having a union at the co-op makes my life better, not only because I personally benefit from it, but because I feel that it's an example for other businesses and other co-ops and other people to be empowered. So that was a really important part for me about getting involved in this, is to understand that for other people they can have a voice in their workplace. I've been a part-time worker at the Wedge, which is a little bit unusual. There aren't that many of us, and so even as a part-timer here, my wage cap was removed, and I get the same kind of raise increments as everybody else, and that's really important to me.
The attendance policy has been particularly beneficial to me outside of work, just because I know that if I need to take a personal day, I can. Having more money has obviously been helpful.
The response from the member owners has been overwhelmingly positive in my opinion, or in my experience rather, and especially working in the front end and customer service, I've heard a lot of that firsthand. The working relationship between those of us in the bargaining unit and management has been very smooth, and management has been easy to work with. And
the relationship between the company, the co-op members, and the union members has been wonderful since we were able to unionize, and especially since we ratified our contract. We have a number of members and customers who verbally express their support as they're shopping, and our employees are pleased with the wins that they got in their contract. I feel that the company respects our union. They've negotiated with us constructively, and they accommodate union activity whenever requested, whenever they can.
Yeah, I would say it's been a very respectful relationship between those of us in the bargaining unit and management. I would just encourage everyone to vote yes on the 26th. I think that it's going to benefit you and your coworkers at your co-op.
I've had nothing but a good experience with that, and I would advocate for anybody to empower themselves with that medium, because it really is a medium and it becomes a relationship with everybody. The more discussion and the more respect and the more structure in that, I think the better. That's what it's been for me, and welcome to the world of unions.
I hope you vote yes. It pays to belong.
I would suggest that you vote yes, because it's really great to be a member of United Food and Commercial Workers, and welcome aboard.